Hello everyone, my name is Vinay Kumar. Today I'm going to talk about React Lifecycle. React Component Lifecycle. In React.js, every component creation process involves various lifecycle methods. These lifecycle methods are termed as component lifecycle. These lifecycle methods are not very complicated and called at various points. And during a component life, the lifecycle of components is divided into four phases. There are initial phase, mounting phase, updating phase, and unmounting phase. Each phase contains a contains some life cycle methods that are specific to a particular phase. Let us discuss each of these phases one by one. First phase, initial phase. It is birth phase of the life cycle of a React.js. Here the component starts its journey on the way to the DOM. In this phase, a component contains the default props and initial state. These default properties are done in the constructor of a component. The initial phase only occurs once and consists of following methods. Get default props. It is used to specify the default value of these dot props. It is invoked before the creation of the components or any props from the parent it is passed into. Get initial state. It is used to specify the default value of this dot state. It is invoked before the creation of the component. Mounting phase. Mounting means putting elements into the DOM. It consists of following methods: constructor get derived state from props, vendor component did mount. And in this case, the instance of a component is created and inserted into DOM. It consists of component will mount. This is invoked immediately before a component gets rendered into the DOM. In the case when you call set state inside this method, the component will not re-render. Component did mount. This is invoked immediately after the component gets rendered and placed onto the DOM. Now you can do any DOM query operations. Render. This is a method defined in each and every component. It is responsible for returning a single root HTML element. If you don't want to render anything, you can return null or a false value. Constructor. The constructor method is called before anything else. This component is initiated. It is natural place to set up the initial state and other initial values. The constructor method is called with the props as argument, and you should always start by calling the super props before anything else. This will initiate parents constructor method and allows the component to inherit methods from its parents React.components. Example: the constructor method is called by way of from every time you make a component. Class header extend React.component constructor props super props these dot state. Render return h. My favorite color is something React.render. Render element returns header document.element. Root. Get derived state from props. Get derived state from props method is called right before rendering the elements in the DOM. This is natural place to set the object based on the initial props. It takes state as an argument and returns an object with changes to the state. This example below states with the starts with favorite color being red. Example: the get derived state from props method is called right before the render method. Class header extends React.component constructor of argument props super of props these dot state favorite color red. Static get derived state from props state return if return favorite color props fav dot render. Render method is required and is the method that actually outputs the HTML to the DOM. Example: a simple component with a simple render method. A class header extends React.component render return. This is the content of the header component. The render returns this header h1 HTML tag to the root file. Component did mount. Component did mount method is called after component is rendered. This is where you run statements that request component and is already placed in DOM. Construct class header extends React.component constructor props super props this dot state equal to favorite color component did bound set time equals to this dot state set state favorite color yellow 1000 render return my favorite color is this dot state dot favorite color. This will go to the favorite color red. This will return the print the my favorite color is red in the HTML web browser. Updating. The next phase in the lifecycle is when a component is updated. A component is updated whenever there is a change in component state or props. React has 5 built-in methods that gets called in this order. When a component is updated, get derived state from props, should component update, render, get snapshot before update, component update, render method is required and will not be called. The other are optional and will be called if you define them. In update phase, we get new props and change state. This phase also allows to handle user interaction and provide communication with the component hierarchy. The main aim of this phase is to ensure that the component is displaying the latest version of itself. Unlike the birth or death phase, this phase repeats again and again. This phase consists of following methods. It will receive props. It is invoked when a component receives new props. If you want to update the state in response to props change, you should change these props and next props to perform state transition by using these dot state method. Get derived state from props. Also, it updates the get derived state from props. This method is called. This first method that is called when a component is updated. This is still the natural place to set the state object before the initial props. Should component get update? Should component update? In the should component update method, you can return a boolean value that specifies whether React should continue with rendering or not. The default value is true, render. The render method is of course called when a component gets updated. It has to re-render the HTML to the DOM with new changes. Get snapshot, set the snapshot before update. In get snapshot before update method, you have the access to props and state before update, meaning that even after update, you can check what values were updated before the update. If get snapshot before update method is present, you should also include component did update. Otherwise, you will get an error. Component did update. Component did update method is called after the component is updated in the DOM. The fourth phase, it is the final phase of the React component lifecycle. It is called when a component instance is destroyed and unmounted from the DOM. This phase contains only one method and is given below. Component will unmount. This method is invoked immediately before a component is destroyed and unmounted permanently. It performs any unnecessary cleanup related tasks such as invalidating timers, event listeners, canceling network requests, or cleaning up DOM elements. If component instance is unmounted, we cannot mount it again. React has only one build that called when component is unmounted. Component with unmount is called when a component is about to remove something. That's all. Thank you.